All right, welcome back, everybody. Big buzz in the world before Super Bowl 59. Is there a conspiracy with the Kansas City Chiefs? Why isn't anyone asking the same thing with the Eagles as Andy Reid's about to face his old team for the second time in a rematch of Super Bowl 57 when it's been 57 years since a team three-peated? The last to do it was the Packers, but it doesn't count as a three-peat in the Super Bowl era because the first win of that three-peat was the year before the Super Bowl began. Of course, the Packers won Super Bowls 1 and 2. First one they won over the Chiefs. But again, it's sad that this is even a debate because it's really not a debate. Pro sports are completely rigged, and the NFL makes it super obvious because you usually see the quarterback hoisting the WWE belt right after the big game, putting it in your face. And people like myself have been here for over a decade showing you how rigged the games are, helping people take advantage of it every day. Congrats to the winners. Another smashing day taking advantage of the NBA, NHL, and NCAA. A lot of nice double-digit point upsets. And again, we'll go over that. But yeah, for everyone hanging around asking for what the Super Bowl outcome is going to be, you guys, I hardly charge anything to be on the Patreon to get the sports intel every single day. It's like, Gary the Numbers Goon, who's a total fraud, who got totally owned and embarrassed by me back in 2016 and ran for the hills. He's now online somehow because he's promoted by all these big people, charging people $100 for just pointless numerology readings that are just pure garbage. If you invest $100 in my movement, you get nearly 2 years of sports coverage. I don't charge a lot for what I do because I'm actually trying to help people and help them come up. And for everyone sitting around waiting for the outcome of the Super Bowl, that's just one game. You're missing out on what we're doing day after day. We've been on a hot streak for weeks now, and you could have made a lot more money off yesterday's games than you could have for the Super Bowl because there were some big dogs with great narratives to win. And again, now I'm going to warn people, if anyone ends up signing up today, Wednesday is my least favorite day of the week. You can still pick out a good game here and there on a Wednesday, but Wednesday is the day of the week named after Mercury, the trickster, and Wednesday is the most trickiest day of the week, but still going to do a little gloat, and I'm going to invite people on, too, as we talk about it. We got one gentleman jumping on here, Chris. And what's up, Chris?
Yo, what's up, Zach? Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Very nice, man. I appreciate your work. Been supportive of you since about 2020. Bought your book, one of your books. And yeah, I got my mom into you as well. Congrats on the baby. It's really great.
Thank you.
So, yeah, man.
Appreciate that.
Of course.
What do you mostly do with the knowledge?
Honestly, Zach, man, prepare myself for what is to be. I've gone even further, gotten into gematria, just like you've been showing, and really helping with crypto. And I'm now, I guess I had like 5 digits back in November. I'm up to 6, and I look at the sporting world now and just wide awake. And I really got to thank you for that, bro. Like, you've done a lot of work, and it's definitely appreciated. But everything you teach, brother, like, I'm just being honest with you. You do a lot, so I'm following it.
Well, I'm glad to hear that the knowledge is helping you out. You're benefiting. You're waking your mom up. You're getting your bank account up. That's what it's all about. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, I will say that is that you had.
Chris, I don't know if you can hear me, but you're driving. I think you're in a bad cell area right now because your call broke up. He froze, actually.
Okay, yeah, is that better?
It's still pretty choppy. Wherever you are right now, I don't think has best reception.
Okay, well, I understand, man. I appreciate you, brother.
Well, thanks for coming on, Chris. And if you want to hop back on when you're somewhere else, you're more than welcome to. I'll keep you in the back room, and if you just want to come back on, just signal me, and I'll get you back on here. All right, thanks, Chris. But yeah, again, there's a lot of great stories in the community, and again, for people who don't know the history, the first 5 years that I was here, everything was free. I did everything for free. 5 years into this, things changed a little bit in my life. I needed a little bit of income. I started charging $5 a month for the sports knowledge. I still did everything else for free. $5 is a low entry point. I kept it that way for up until about a year ago. I bumped, you can still get all the sports content for $5 a month. It's just the written content. I bumped the written content plus the live streaming tier up to 11. And then about a year ago, we invented a $20 tier where you get a chance to win money every week. So that tier pays. It's kind of a break-even tier for me, but it just gives the community a chance to sharpen their knowledge set and compete with each other and win from the pool of money. But yeah, a point I want to make, you guys, that's bigger than just making money. It's just the games are rigged, and the what's worse than the games being rigged is the ritual sacrifices that go on every single year that somehow, some way, most people turn a blind eye to. I want to point this out right here. Young man, Jimmy Wilkerson, 43 years old, former Kansas City Chief, just happened to die on Taylor Swift's birthday this year when she's become connected to the Chiefs through Travis Kelce. Again, Taylor Swift, born December 13th, 89. He died on the 35th birthday of Taylor Swift. Remember, the first ever Super Bowl was won with 35 points, Packers over Chiefs. There's something known as septenary and Chaldean gematria. Super Bowl in football equals 35 in those ciphers. And of course, the Chiefs are now in the Super Bowl. This was at the end of the regular season this happened. But if you measure from December 13th to the day of the Super Bowl, that's 58 days later, or a span of 59 days. And of course, the Chiefs won Super Bowl 58. Now they're in Super Bowl 59. Again, these things are going unnoticed by the average fan. The Chiefs are trying to three-peat. They're bringing back the headlines of the 3 frozen fans, which is still a mysterious death. And wasn't the name of the person whose house they were at, wasn't their name Jordan something? Like Michael Jordan, known for the three-peat, coached by Phil Jackson, who has the same birthday as Mahomes. Phil Jackson, Pat Riley, another great coach who made the term three-peat famous. And now we're talking about Patrick Mahomes, another Pat. Again, the Mahomes beat the Saints this year, who are hosting 59 days after his father's birthday. His father was a pro baseball player drafted by Minnesota, who the Chiefs got their first Super Bowl win against, Super Bowl IV. And, his father also got to witness one of the last three-peats in sports history by the Yankees. They beat the Mets. Mahomes' father was on that Mets team that got three-peated against by the New York Yankees in the Subway Series. But yeah, this is the kind of stuff that's more important than even padding your pockets. I know for a lot of us, we got bills to pay, so making the money might seem like the most important aspect, but really exposing evil and ritual murder is more important. And again, that was something I caught on to a long time ago, and I thought, how doesn't everyone see this? The way these young men, these former players of the league, are just offed clearly ritualistically on specific dates, like their number was up. So yeah, Jimmy Wilkerson, there's no talk about that. You'd think the worldwide leader in sports reporting, you think they'd be in their suits. They're going, don't you think it's weird that a former Chiefs dead on Taylor Swift's birthday? Man, he was only 43 years old. Hey, why don't we consult with that gematria expert? He's been showing how the game's rigged for over a decade. Let's buzz him on right here and get him in. Isn't 43 a football and a killing number? Yeah, Jimmy Wilkerson dead at 43. This looks weird. If we had real news reporting, that's what it would look like. But instead, we have this bought and paid for crap that wants to help sell the tickets and taking money from the NFL, and they got to do things that are advertiser friendly. Imagine if they were pointing out how State Farm equals 103 and Mahomes, the State Farm athletes, winning the 103rd NFL season and coming into the big game 10-3 in the playoffs, only to improve to 11-3 when Eagles equals 113. Imagine how much different it would be if that's what was on SportsCenter and that's what people are tuned into. Said they're turned into the Burt Lobster guy, talking a whole bunch of nonsense with his mullet buddy and 2 other dumbasses. Oh, what do you think about these conspiracies in the NFL? It's just like, well, you got to be brain dead to not see that the whole thing's a rigged conspiracy. How about Bill Bergey on Christmas for the Eagles, right? Bill Bergey, 31st pick of the draft. Bald eagle equals 31. He dies right after Joe Biden makes the bald eagle the official national bird of America. And who's Joe Biden's favorite team? The Philadelphia Eagles. Bill Bergey just dead on Christmas. Dead at 79. Big murder number. Big Society of Jesus number. Also the 22nd prime number, like the 22 men on the field. Eagles equals 22. How many times did 22 show up in the final score for the Eagles just in their little short playoff run? Number we talked about a gazillion times with the Eagles over the years. Javon Belcher, again, supposedly killed himself and his family, but then you look at it and you're like, number 59. Now the Chiefs are in Super Bowl 59. He died on a date that can be written 1/12 on the 131st day of his age when Super Bowl equals 131 and 112. Again, the Chiefs this year beat the 49ers 131 days after Montana's birthday, 112 days before the Super Bowl in New Orleans, reminding us how Joe Montana got his 4th Super Bowl win in New Orleans. And don't forget that Joe Montana equals 54. Chiefs beat Niners in the Joe Montana Bowl, Super Bowl 54, and then Super Bowl 58, the 54th of the modern era, beat them again. And don't forget what they did. Right before Super Bowl 58, they put up the Kobe Bryant statue, who died right before Mahomes started winning every Super Bowl. But they put up the Kobe Bryant statue on Derek Thomas's death anniversary 3 days before the Super Bowl, where Mahomes goes on to win his 3rd in Super Bowl 58. Derek Thomas dead at 33. Patrick equals 33 in Gematria. Patrick Mahomes was the 33rd quarterback to win a Super Bowl, and he did it on the 33rd day of the year, February 2nd, 2020, in the first Joe Montana Bowl. And there's been a whole lot of other names, too. At the start of this year, Abner Haynes died. Played for the original Dallas Texans that became the Kansas City Chiefs. Died on 187 day at 86. He got 86th. We had the Texans upsetting in the first round of the playoffs so that they would become 6-7 in the playoffs all time. The Texans, Kansas City equals 67. Because if they won and all the top seeds won in the AFC, the Texans would face the Chiefs. Just like last year, the first 2 games of the playoffs were the Texans and the Chiefs. And do you remember that Texans-Browns game last year, how horribly it was officiated? Just a blatant pass interference on the Texans right in front of the ref, and he did an incomplete. The guy literally tackled the receiver. If you remember how the Texans-Browns game started last year, it was just a back-and-forth scoring. Browns were driving again, and then what broke up the drive was the guy getting tackled before the ball even got there right in front of the ref, and the ref does it incomplete. It's like, incomplete, dude. I mean, how much you getting paid to ref the game? He just got tackled a whole second before the ball got there. Total pass interference. I mean, if there's a scale of 1 to 10 for pass interference, that was a 10 out of 10, most obvious call in the history of pass interference. Then what happens on the very next drive? It's like, what was it, 3rd and 12 or something? Texans on their side of the field. They throw a bomb down to the goal line. A defender goes up to defend the ball, like great defense. No pass interference at all. And then the ref throws a flag for pass interference and puts the Texans at the 1-yard line. So they would have been punting. It would have been like 4th and 12 on their side of the field. Instead, now it's 1st and goal. Okay, so no pass interference or total pass interference that broke up the drive, not called. Now, total non-pass interference gives them a 50-yard gain. This is the stuff that goes on every week in the NFL, and people are sitting here going, a fixed conspiracy. I mean, you got to be brain dead. You got to be brain dead. And it's been this way for all of our lives, assuming you're my age. I'm in my early 40s. I was born in 83. I'm 41 right now, to be exact, but I mean, it was the same thing with Jordan growing up. I remember the Blazers playing against Jordan in the finals. Everything you breathe on the guy, foul. He claws a Blazer's eye out. Eyeballs are left on the court. No call. I mean, sports have always been this way. Sports have always been this way. And the thing is, you talk to people. It's just like if you watched my video yesterday on what I said about Jordan's son getting shamed 42 days after his birthday on 4/2 on the same day that Tiger Woods' mother dies, in tribute to his 97 Masters, videos I covered yesterday on the news channel. I made remarks about how if the NBA wasn't fixed, if it wasn't all just a script with chosen stars, Jordan probably would have lived in Pippen's shadow because Pippen's a bigger guy, more athletic, can do everything that Jordan can do and more. And people are like, what are you talking about? Do you see how many points Jordan averaged? It's just like, see, this is the argument you come back with because you're too tarded. It's a script, morons. It's all scripted perfectly. God, it's a script. You can't come back with the average. He averaged more points. That shows you you're a total tard. It doesn't matter what their averages are. The games are scripted. Learn what we're talking about. Learn how to take advantage of the script. Learn how to call a guy's exact box score before the game's played, as so many people in this community have learned to do. And again, you don't just have to take my word for it. Look, there's hundreds of people teaching this knowledge now, trying to compete. They have their own Patreons. There's a lot of people who've learned to take advantage of the rig game. There's a lot of people now teaching about this. When I came around in 2013, there was nobody else teaching about this. After 2016, you started to see people be like, oh, I want to develop my brand. Wow, he called every sports future this year. There's definitely something to this. It's almost a decade later, and still people haven't caught on. So anyway, let's go through what we do day after day. Let's just look at yesterday, for example, and I could point to a lot of good days. So 76ers Mavericks. Again, we weigh the scales and we weigh at least what I think the top narrative is day after day. So looking at this 76ers Mavericks game, 26 is a big number in Philly. And man, you should see that right now with everything going on with Philly's run to the playoffs. They get Saquon Barkley, number 26. Their first playoff game this year, they become 26-26 in the playoffs. They advance to the Super Bowl on the anniversary of Super Bowl 26, which was the Redskins over the Bills. Notice the Redskins and Bills both lost this year on the anniversary of Super Bowl 26, so we thought would happen. If you looked at the Redskins and the Eagles, who are now the Commanders, they'd only played one playoff game against each other before. There were 26 points scored in that game. It was 20-6. It was the 2 seed versus the 6 seed. On and on and on. Even more things I'm forgetting right now. But the word flag equals 26. Philly's the home of the flag. Philadelphia equals 101, which is the 26 prime. Remember, the first NFL season, full season after Trump became president, has the same birthday as the flag. The Eagles were also in the Super Bowl. They beat the Patriots that year with the flag on their helmet. And we told you the day that Trump took on the protesters on the 23rd of September, 23/9, that's what the Super Bowl was going to be, because the flag was sewn in Philadelphia at 239 Arch Street. 239 is the 52nd prime. That was the year of Super Bowl 52. But anyway, the top narrative right here was the Mavericks staying on 26 wins. And again, you got to look at both sides of it, because there are both sides, but you got to pick what is the better narrative. It's just like looking at the Super Bowl. There's two sides to the equation. There's the Chiefs narrative and the Eagles narrative. You got to pick what's the better one. That can be the challenge, but usually there's an obvious reason why something's the better narrative, and sometimes it goes beyond numbers. But yesterday, 76ers had the better narrative to win. Did you see how many points they won with? I mean, how many times have I talked about this one? They won with 118, you guys. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania equals 118. Dallas, Texas equals 118. Remember, we had Philly in spring training to be in the 118th World Series. You pay attention, these same numbers happen all the time. Celtics yesterday were dogs versus the Cavs. You know it's a really consistent number with the Cavaliers? 36. Celtics got their 36th win over the Cavs yesterday as a slight dog. And we were talking about this days in advance, that had the Celtics won their next 3, they'd end up getting their 36th win over the Cavs. Boom. Rockets, huge favorites against the Nets yesterday. 9.5-point favorites. Where are we at? What's our top narrative? Our top narrative is Nets have the narrative to win. If you wanted to play it safe, you could have taken them with the points. They were a 9.5-point dog on 6 date tomorrow. Yeah, there were narratives on both sides. But like I said, when you watch how the league is, you see the dualism. The Knicks, the other New York team, are 33-17, not arbitrary numbers. Masonry equals 33. Mason equals 17. By the Nets winning, they became 17-33, the mirror image. And it's just like and where do they play next? They play in D.C. next. The Masonic headquarters in D.C. is at the address 1733. All of these American sports are credited to Freemasons. Baseball, Abner Doubleday, the NFL, Walter Camp, basketball, Naismith, all Masons. Where's this whole thing of letters and numbers come from? Kabbalah. What's Masonry based in? Kabbalah. So some narratives look a lot more lopsided than others, but there's always a top narrative. A lot of value here. I like to call it a dollar parlay. With a game like this, you got a core group of games that's solid. You can turn $1 into upwards of $100 hitting nice upsets like this. You're not risking a lot, but you're building that grocery money. Like you heard the last gentleman say, since he came into the knowledge, he used to have a 5-digit bank account. Now he's got a 6-digit bank account, meaning he was in the tens of thousands. Now he's in the hundreds of thousands. Again, you don't have to do it by becoming an overnight millionaire. You just stay steady with the knowledge. The game is rigged. You can prove it day in and day out, from the market to sports to crypto. Things I've all demonstrated multiple times over the now more than 11 years I've been here. The Knicks and Raptors game. Suggested in this game, it probably would be smart to tease the Raptors up to +6.5. The Raptors did lose yesterday by 6 on 6 date numerology. It's not always going to be that way in the date numerology. It's not always going to be a winning outcome, but it will help you a lot more often than not. If you took the Raptors at +6.5, they lost by 6, which means you won the bet. The Heat and the Bulls, we knew this game was dangerous yesterday. I was on the wrong side of this one. Heat in 16 is very powerful, and Bulls in 12 is very powerful. The Bulls did stay on 16 home losses. I ended up choosing the Heat, picking up the 12th road win because it was the 144th day of Jimmy Butler's age, who played for both teams, square root of 12. Again, I don't like to go against a 12 in a Bulls game, and I don't like to go against a 16 in a Heat game. So, again, wrong side of that one. If you took the dog with the points, even the dog ended up winning the game. But, yeah, I probably should have had the other narrative on top, because I say when push comes to shove in a tight game, it's probably always smart to take the dog with the points and maybe tease it up to the date numerology. But again, you're not going to win them all. Lakers, big dog last night versus the Clippers. We're on a nice winning streak with the Lakers. We said the Lakers should win their next 3 road games to become 13-13 away in their home city, LA, because they're playing on the road versus the Clippers. As you know, LA is the 13th city. LA equals 13-41. Should remind you of Kobe, dead at 41, his daughter dead at 13. But yeah, Lakers 8.5-point dog last night. A lot of value. I did tell people it might be smart to take them with the points, because Lou, they do make a lot of these games, Lou, close. Had Tyronn Lue won, he would have got his 213th win with the Clippers. The coaches can be misleading, though, and that's why a lot of times I just like to keep it surface level. Had I not looked at the Tyronn Lue thing, I would have stayed with my initial idea of just take Lakers money line, but you took them with the points. A win is a win. If you did play them in a dollar parlay too, which was the advice, you hit on that. They won money line. They covered the spread, obviously. I'd been riding my Blazers lately, but I thought their winning streak was finally going to end last night. I was wrong about that too. Blazers have been on a tear. They seem to have the narrative to lose last night, but they won regardless. And again, this is also why we teach people, pick the best 3 games of the day, look for the value and the narratives that make the most sense. Don't put too many things on a card, and don't bet more than you can afford to lose. But imagine had you had a straight bet on all the advice yesterday. You would have won on the 76ers, the Celtics, the Nets. You would have took the Raptors with the points, winner. You would have missed on Heat Bulls. You would have won nice on Lakers. You would have lost on Blazers. That's a lot more winning than losing, not to mention you hit on 2 big dogs. NHL yesterday. Not a bad day. Always looking for top narratives. Again, this is just a day in the life of Noah Gematria. Bruins. The Bruins hosting the Wild was the first game on the slate. As I always preach in hockey, points narratives are top narratives. Bruins yesterday had a chance to get the 60th points. Wild equals 60. 60 goes with the 6-date numerology. Yesterday had a 6-date numerology. Today has a 7. But 60. Wild 60. Did the Bruins get the 60th points yesterday? Yes, they did. Sabres and Blue Jackets. I recommended taking. I love dogs with great narratives to win, because you can take them with the goals. If they lose by a goal, you win the bet. Blue Jackets with the goals was the narrative yesterday. Did they lose by a goal? They did. That's a winning bet. Lightning and Senators was a close one yesterday. I told people to be careful with this one. We did favor the Lightning ever so slightly. They did get it done ever so slightly, 4-3. Devils and Penguins. This game yesterday, Devils had the point narrative and the win narrative. Devils top narrative. They come in and get it done against the Penguins. Capitals, Panthers. I was on the wrong side of this one. The Capitals in 76 is normally a winning pattern, but sometimes you got to take note too. Like for years, we've won on Capitals in 76. Both of these teams have a 76 connection. The last 2 games, 76 has come up with the Capitals. It's missed. And that seems kind of weird. You got Trump in there, who's Mr. 76. So, but again, this is where you got to take note too. It's like, okay, my winning patterns burned me 2 games in a row. The next time it comes up, got to proceed with caution. Got to see it get back on track. The Capitals did get their 35th win on the 35th day of the year. Gaza equals 35. Trump saying we're going to take over Gaza next to the new Hitler yesterday. American people didn't even blink an eye. Further cementing what I've known about this nation since 9/11, that it's a bunch of unknown Nazis. Again, you guys, this is a populace of Nazis you live amongst in the United States of America. that really is the more important topic. But if I did a video on that, the Nazis wouldn't care. You know, it wouldn't even get any traction. Again, just remember what happened after 9/11. We blamed the Reichstag fire, which was the World Trade Centers. If you don't know the Reichstag fire, that's when the Nazis set their own building on fire and blamed it on Jews. But again, we took down our own towers. We blamed it on Muslims. We started a crusade against Muslim people. Throw a yellow ribbon on the back of your car. Be a good Nazi. That's what went on in America, and that's what most of the good Nazis did, not realizing that Nazis were funneled over here on July 20th, 1945, and pretty much took over the nation. But yeah, it's the same thing now, and that's why Donald Trump, little Nazi scumbag, can stand next to Netanyahu and talk about, yeah, we're just going to go in and move 2 million people out of there and you know, make another Trump casino right in Jerusalem. Anyway, that Gaza equals 35, just like China. Trump with his little China accent, but the trade war started with China yesterday. Again, news by the numbers, rig sports by the numbers. Maybe should have rode the 35s yesterday. The Golden Knights and Islanders was not a good game. Just not a lot to choose from here. One thing on each side. That's why at the top of my notes every day it says, you know, choose the top three narratives. When you got one thing on each side, that's not a top three. Better narrative. Oilers had a whole bunch of reasons to win yesterday, and the Oilers did win. Whole bunch of reasons to win, and they did. Hurricanes and Jets, another game I was on the wrong side of. This one did look pretty good for the old Hurricanes here. I was a little bit surprised about this one. And again, this is why you never bet more than you can afford to lose, but you stick with the knowledge you're going to win a lot more than you lose. By the Jets winning, it tells me what they're going to do in the next game. Usually a narrative like that doesn't fail, though. That's an 80% narrative right there on the wrong side of it yesterday. The Maple Leafs and Flames, I know what they'll do in the next game now that they won. It looked like the underdog Flames had a shot yesterday. That one was a bit off. The Utah Hockey Club and Flyers, on the right side of this one, Flyers got the 14th road regulation loss, number that plays hard in Utah. Be careful in the NBA, though. If you're not on my Patreon, Utah and 14's been missing like crazy in the NBA, which is weird because in years past it was money in the bank, but it's been playing well in hockey. Of course, the Arizona Coyotes became the Utah Hockey Club this year. And underdog Canucks yesterday had a good narrative to upset the Avalanche, and they did. They beat them 3-0. Red Wings and Kraken. I love these things right here. Detroit equals 44. Seattle equals 44. Overtime equals 44. This game went to overtime 4-4. Again, you take a hockey game for overtime, good value. You can just bet that alone. You know, right up at the top of the notes right here, the reminder about the 44 teams here. It went to overtime 4-4. If you did that in an exact score, this game to go overtime 4-4, that's kind of bet you can make huge odds. You have a dollar parlay with your favorite group of things and Red Wings and Kraken to go to overtime 4-4. You can turn $1 into a few $100s. The beauty of the knowledge. And again, anytime you think a game can go to overtime, it's always a decent idea to take the dog with the points or the goals in hockey, because if the dog loses in OT, you're going to win the bet because they're only going to lose by a goal. You can't lose by more than a goal if it goes to overtime. You got the dog with the goals and they lose in OT. That's an automatic win. I'm a little bit surprised the Stars lost to the Ducks, but I did recommend the Ducks in a dollar parlay yesterday. They had a whole lot of value. A little bit surprising that the Stars lost this game because they had the points narrative. The thing was the 13 could play either way for the Ducks. Dallas and the Ducks both love 13. The Ducks upset narrative was to get the 13th home win or the 13th loss in regulation versus Dallas. Usually when there's a points narrative there, it comes in, but again, you took the Ducks in a dollar parlay with your favorite group of games. You did all right. And the Canadians yesterday also had the narrative to give the Sharks their 34th regulation loss. The score was 3-4. Canadians is 34. San Jose is 43. Read it in reverse. But, yeah, that 34 plays hard with the Canadians. And just so you know, Mars equals 15. Tuesday is the day of the week named after Mars. In astrology, 2025 is the year of Mars. So there's just a free tip for everybody. Really watch the 15s this year in sports on a Tuesday. And what was cool about yesterday is yesterday had 15-date numerology. The 15s came through in most games. It did miss in the Stars game. There'll never be a perfect pattern in the world of sports, but so often you ride a strong pattern, you'll hit in upwards of 80% of your games for the day, you're doing 80%. You should be building your bankroll continuously. And again, that's what we teach you how to do. Learn how to turn a small bill into a big bill. Turn 5 into 50. Turn 5 into 100. Turn 5 into a few hundred. If you can turn 5 into 50 one day a week and you're only betting $5 a day, are you building a profit every week? Of course you are. If you turn 5 into 50, you started with 5 that day, you now have 55. If you lost on the other 6 days, you gave back 30. That means you turned 5 into 25 for the week. You did times 5 your money for the week. Think about if you win 2 times in the week. Think if you did better than 5 into 50. Think you turned 5 into 300. People do better than that all the time in this community. And as time goes on, if you continue to build, you might say, you know, I was risking $5 a day. That's where I was comfortable. I did well. I got quite a bit of house money now. I'm going to do $10 a day. But again, that should be the mindset. What people do in this community that wrecks people is they turn 5 into 500. And then they get hot and they put all 500 down and they hit and they turn 500 into 10,000 the next day. And now they feel like they're a big shot. And now they bet 10,000 on the third day. And you know what happens? It's the day that, say, the Stars-Ducks game pulls the rug out from under them. And now they're back to square one. But now they got that feeling, damn, I just had 10,000. I want it back. Okay, I did good those 2 days. I'm going to bet 10,000 a day. And now they're 10,000 in the hole. Those are the people that come through my community and bet like that and get greedy. And then they get mad at me and they blame me and they write hate mail and then they join the trolls. Everyone who's just stayed the course, like a Big Al, for example. Big Al, who's been here for years, has always kept his betting modest, likes to do $20 bets, 20 into 100. You know, he's been on a tear. Like a lot of people the last few weeks, we've been really hot. He's turned a lot of 20 into 150, 200, 300. 400. He's hot, so he already made money for the day. He really likes them at the end of the day. He's betting 50 on this one to turn it into 200. Big Al can afford to bet a little more because he's got a wife with a nice career. He has a good career. And Big Al will tell you, man, he's going to retire years before he thought because he's been working with this knowledge for years now. And he's built himself up a retirement account through what you could call Gematria gambling. A lot of you guys are saying this stuff is evil and bad. But I totally disagree. What's evil and bad is gambling way too much like an idiot and losing your livelihood and your house and ruining your family. That's never been what I've educated about over here. What I've educated about is using the knowledge to turn small bills into big bills, being consistent with it, not being greedy with it, being the tortoise, not the hare. And again, how many Americans waste over $5 a day on stuff they don't need, putting toxins in their body? Sugary energy drinks, junk food, chips, fast food. I mean, and I can't even believe people are still lining up for the fast food as expensive as it is now. But again, make your meal at home. Again, you can make a wonderful meal at home. Sweet Lady and I eat pretty well each day, and I'd say we spend about $10 on dinner to feed both of us. $10. I mean, if I go to a junk fast food restaurant, it's probably going to be $10 to feed one of us, or if not more, and we're putting nothing but trash in our body. So, okay, just right there from eating at home and making my meal, I've saved $10, and I'm better off for it too. I've eaten something more nutritious. I got an extra $10 bill to try and multiply in a parlay. You know what I mean? Or better yet, just if you don't want to gamble, just save your money and put it in a retirement account. You know what I mean? Be smarter with your money. That's what we're preaching over here. Here, let's just go through a few more things. I did a quick scan of college basketball yesterday. I did tell everybody because we just broke it down in real time. I said, you might want to go look further with the coaches and get some more information. But some things on the surface are strong. Marquette, for example, 93, very powerful number with Marquette. Marquette yesterday falls to 9-3 in the Big East. New York likes 111. St. John's, the New York school, gets to 11-1 in the Big East. Nice value in this game. St. John's, barely a favorite. 2.5-point favorite. They won the game by 6. Well, they won by 6 on the 6-date numerology. Vanderbilt, Florida. No surprise here. Florida was a big favorite. I mean, this isn't an exciting game, but we had Vanderbilt to get upset over the weekend to fall to 4-4 in the SEC. Vanderbilt equals 44. Notice what happened in this game. It's another tribute to 44. Florida becomes 19-3. 193 is the 44th prime. They became 6-3 in the SEC. 63 is the 44th composite number. That's to do with JFK getting smoked as the 44th term president after the 44th inauguration in 63. As we know, shooting equals 44. Purdue, Iowa, wrong side of this game. A lot of times the date numerology can be helpful in college basketball, but all the patterns that we've dominated with for years, none of them are as good as they used to be. Date numerology on the surface in college basketball used to be rock solid. You got to be a little bit more careful. I thought the dog with the points was the right call here, but didn't work out in that one. Purdue won by 9 is a 6.5-point favorite. Again, you're not going to win them all, but picking out the strongest narratives. Look at this UCLA-Michigan State game. One-way street, just a one-way street. UCLA, plenty of value, barely a favorite. Chance to become 8-4 in the Big Ten. Michigan State Spartans 84. UCLA, by winning this game, also became 8-4 versus Michigan State all-time. UCLA stayed on 6 losses on the 6-date numerology. Michigan State picked up their 4th loss in LA. And over the weekend, we had USC to upset Michigan State. LA's the land of 13, right? Michigan State's 13-game winning streak got snapped by USC, the other LA school. Arizona, BYU. Arizona slight dog last night. They had 2 6s in their favor. BYU had 1 6 in their favor. That's more for Arizona. How'd Arizona do last night? Upset BYU. Again, that's not the greatest narrative, but again, just shopping around, looking for things that are strong each day. You can absolutely do it, and that's why being extra selective is smart. You look for the best games on the board, like a UCLA, Michigan State, one-way street, a Marquette game where 93 plays hard with Marquette. Don't forget what they did to Chris Farley, RIP, who died during Saturnalia in a major 93 ritual. If you remember Chris Farley's movie, oh snap, what's the movie called where his dad has the auto parts store and he's with the little skinny guy, David Spade? I can't believe I can't think of the name of that movie right now. But it begins with him at Marquette failing the test. It's the question about the signature with Hancock. And he's thinking about it. The answer is John Hancock, right? But he's thinking about it. Chris Farley. He's like, oh yeah, Herbie Hancock, the musician, right? And he writes in Herbie. And by the way, if you look at that movie scene when he's doing the Herbie Hancock, you can see right on the top it says Test 201, like the Jesuit orders 201. Of course, Marquette's a Jesuit school. But anyway, again, just consistently winning with the knowledge. Do we have bad days every now and then? Yeah. Sometimes we even have a bad week. We have a week where it's like 50-50 the whole week. If you're only betting $5 a day, you can afford to lose the whole week because you know what? By the end of a bad week, we usually get on a good stretch. Again, you hit one time with your parlay, you've already made up for your whole last week's losses. And that's why I say all the guys who are just waiting around to bet on the Super Bowl, like if you want the knowledge and you want to know how the games are rigged, use this knowledge because you can prove definitively day after day that NBA, NHL, MLB, all of it, college sports, all of it are rigged and scripted. And even the ladies' games too. Even the ladies' games, the WNBA, women's college. Again, the fix is in. If you can bet on it, the fix is in. So, all right. Let me drop some links here. If you're out there and you want to come on like Chris did at the beginning and share your appreciation for the knowledge, or you know what? I mean, if you're somebody out there who had a bad experience, you're welcome to come on and tell me about your bad experience too. Tommy Boy. Yeah, that's the name of the movie. Tommy Boy. I couldn't think of the name of the movie. R.I.P. Chris Farley. Humanity Enslaved in the chat. Great decoder. Great decoder. You know, uses his own mind, digs deep, makes a lot of great hits. We got Fresco. What's up, Fresco?
Well, what up with it, man? I like the fact you brought up the 26 thing, the 126. Because Jalen Hurts wears the number 1, and then you got Saquon Barkley with the 26. New Orleans has 126 in it, like I put in the chat earlier.
Fresco, you still there? We're having trouble with people's connections today. They're muting the truth seekers. Fresco, are you still there? Fresco, I'm going to put you in the back room. I'm not going to kick you out. I'm just going to put you in the back room. Oh, wait, I think I heard something. You there, Fresco?
Yeah.
All right, you're back.
Man, I'm trying to get out because I'm doing this from my phone. And I'm trying to tell you all the 126s that's in there.
Well,
but
New Orleans is 126.
126.
New Orleans is 126. It reminds us of the day Kobe died, in light of Kobe being Mr. Three-Peat.
Gianna Bryant is 126 as well. And
Absolutely, she is. Hey, let's remind about Kobe being so important to this. His nickname, Black Mamba, equals 59. And we are in the year of the snake. And do you know do you know exactly what it is from the day Mahomes was born, September 17th, 95, to the day that Kobe made his debut in the NBA, November 3rd, 96?
126?
Nah, it's exactly 59 weeks
59.
from the day that Mahomes was born to the day that Kobe made his NBA debut.
Damn. Now, I wanted to hit you with this one. Have you ever heard of the singer Frankie Beverly?
Of course.
Oh, you know about Frankie Beverly?
Well,
all right.
Who doesn't? I mean, that's a big name out there, Frankie Beverly. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Frankie Beverly is from Philly. This past year, he died, but before he died, I think his last show in Philly, he had Jalen Hurts on stage.
Interesting.
And
okay.
In New Orleans, Frankie Beverly is loved. When he died, they did a second line for him in New Orleans, and he wasn't even there. They actually buried a picture of him in New Orleans. It was a big deal in New Orleans, and I think that has a lot to do with what's going on, because if you do look at Frankie Beverly, he has the 153, just like the Chiefs and the Eagles. If the Eagles win, both of them could be 153, 15-3.
No, that's not correct, because you're only looking at their regular season records. The Chiefs right now are
no. That's
17-2.
overall. That's overall, the whole thing.
No, you're only looking at their regular season record, because there's a 17-game regular season. The Chiefs were 15-2 in the regular season, like Patrick Mahomes equals 152. Now they're 17-2. Kansas City Chiefs equals 172. That goes with Len Dawson dying on Kobe Bryant Day the other year before Super Bowl 57, 172 days before the Super Bowl, and then again Kobe's hometown played against the Chiefs.
God damn! I miscalculated. I forgot you got to include that shit. My bad, man.
It's okay. Yeah, don't forget to add the postseason with the regular season. A lot of people do that.
Damn, man. But I was looking.
Now, here, I'll tell you something. Remember that right now the Eagles are 17-3 for the year. Number of the beast equals 174. Here, I'm going to show you guys. We were all over this over the weekend. You always got to watch what they do with college basketball and the NFL. Here, I'm giving you guys a gem right here. And that's why you should be on the Patreon, because you already could have cashed a lot of nice upsets. You know where Jalen Hurts is from? You know what city he's from?
Houston, but more
he's from Houston. So who did Houston play over the weekend to get upset by?
This past weekend, that was Texas Tech.
And who went to Texas Tech?
Patrick Mahomes.
And do you see what the records of both teams became? We were all over this. 17-4 for both schools. They're both 17-4, like number of the beast equals 174. If the Eagles lose, they're going to be 17-4. They're going to have 666 wins as a franchise and 666 losses. Again, Kobe had the whole 666 workout. Helicopter equals 57. It's a rematch of Super Bowl 57. The Packers three-peated 57 years ago. Again, this is the stuff you got to watch. Yesterday, we had Texas Tech to upset Baylor. Did you see what happened in that game?
Yeah, I had Texas Tech.
Look what happened in the game, though. Baylor fell to 14-8,
wow.
And Texas Tech became 12-2 at home for the year. You know what city equals 148 and 122?
Kansas City.
Kansas City, just like Mahomes just became 12-2 at Arrowhead Field in the playoffs, winning the NFC championship or the AFC.
What about
championship.
The Eagles going 2-3 overall in their Super Bowls?
But hold on. I want to say more about the Baylor. Look at how many points did Baylor score yesterday?
50. That's what I'm saying. 59.
And how many points did Texas Tech score? They scored 73, right? Like how Baylor, when they won the championship the other year, it was their first championship in 73 years. And remember, that was the 82nd March Madness tournament, Baylor University 82. And that game was in Indiana. And they preserved Indiana being the last team to have a perfect season by beating Gonzaga.
Yeah.
So, and you guys might remember that Baylor and Gonzaga were actually supposed to play in Indiana in December that year, but the game got canceled over cooties. And, that was a ritual just so that they could bring it back as the championship.
Yeah.
But, again, you guys, year after year, I'm teaching you the same things. That the college basketball games are rigged and give you signs for the Super Bowl. And if everything's the same as it's been in all the years past we've done this, it looks pretty obvious where this is going. So again, but like I say, why do you only bet on the Super Bowl? I mean, you could have been taking advantage of these Texas Tech upsets and the build up to this, just understanding the narrative. So here's the way I feel. Like, even if we end up being wrong about the Super Bowl, it's like, well, we already got all kinds of house money because we've been knowing the Super Bowl narrative and taking advantage of Texas Tech, which has been great payouts.
Yeah, Texas Tech definitely was a lot these past few games, especially these past 2 games. Definitely.
Yeah.
I was wondering, what about the did you see how is the underdog, I want to say, is 9-18?
Because there's a 17 game.
No, the favorite is 9-18 in the last Super Bowls in over 29 years. And how if the Eagles win, it'll be 9-19. And then you look at all the 9-1s. I can't look at it.
Who was the 10th pick of the draft, though?
Who was the 10th pick of the draft?
Yeah.
This past year?
No, I mean Patrick Mahomes, the 10th pick of the draft. Super Bowl 59, the 55th of the modern era. 55, the 10th triangular and 10th Fibonacci. So I don't know. But hold on, we got more people. I want to let everybody hop on and say something real quick because I got to wrap this up in about 15 minutes. But we got Max Rains, we got Eloy, and then we got Heir to the Throne in the order they came on. So Max Rains, you want to say something real quick?
Yeah, so I ate pretty well yesterday, just off of the straight bets I put. None of my parlays hit, but yeah, no, it is like double a day wage if you do it right. Just like one straight bet could, equal a day wage, and you don't have to go big, you don't have to go hard on it. It's just you got to slow roll it for sure, because once you get greedy, it'll take everything. Like I said, I've placed $105,000 in winning bets.
Boom.
Using Gematria. If I were an actual mathematician and like an actual financially literate, I'd be able to make, way more. But just because I was I just kind of got into gambling and wasn't really financially literate, I've basically evened out. And so it's fun getting the games right, and being able to show people exactly how it's rigged to the T, numerically and alphabetically. But it it is kind of like a weird place, because you're like, well, if these games are rigged, it's easy to like just cash out a couple $100, and then you get that couple $100, and then you go and bet on some tennis and shit. And so, no, it's impacted. I would say it's impacted my life a lot, just because, one, I've proven that you can win using this code to many people, but I've also proved to people that gambling is kind of kind of a weird habit. And if you don't know what you're doing, I would either suggest to stay away or get somebody to, not help you, but like help you regulate your wins and losses. Because I've won $2,000. I think the Niners and Bengals, when they made it to the Super Bowl, I had taken the Bengals at halftime when they were down by 3 scores. And parlayed it
in the conference championship.
Yeah, and they were plus 1,600.
Don't forget, right before that game, it was in the news. I forget what the Cincinnati News radio show was, but the main character from that show was announced dead right before that game. We were on the Bengals to win that one. It looked bad early. The trolls were hating. The trolls were like, "Oh, how about your Bengals pick?" And then sure enough,
plus 1,600, man. That was wild. But I ended up turning like $25 into $2,100. So, it's there. It's real. But also, if you're new to gambling, or not as financially literate as most, definitely either hit your bets, cash out, and don't put back in, or build up a good amount, cash out, and then tell somebody that you have this amount in there, and that I don't know. I think having partners help regulate wins and losses is more beneficial than just doing it by yourself, because it's a slippery slope for sure.
Sure, put two minds together, and that's the point of the community too, because we take calls and we get other people's opinions, and some people's opinions are definitely worth more than others. But yeah, indeed. All right, man. I appreciate it, man. I got to let a few more people get in before we run out of time.
Yeah, no, for sure. Thank you.
Eloy was next, and then Air to the Throne. I appreciate Air to the Throne putting his face on there, but he was the last one coming. So Eloy, you
What's
dropped
up,
out.
Jack? I know you mentioned something about wanting to give thanks to the knowledge and all the stuff that it does for us. Sports betting wise, I'm actually gonna obviously bet this Super Bowl with your knowledge and stuff. But I have a question. I just paid for the Patreon, the $5 one. I updated it. I haven't updated it in a minute, but I don't know if it's just me, but when I load into it, it doesn't really give me like all the newest stuff that you posted. It's like I'm seeing stuff for like years ago. I don't know why it's doing that. I don't know if it's just
Patreon?
me. Yeah, on Patreon. Like when I just resubscribed to it earlier this morning, and I'm trying to look at all your notes. But for some reason on my account, it's like it's not updating any information. I'm not getting any of your game notes or anything.
I don't know what to say about that.
It might just be on my end. Like I said, I'm not sure what it is. I'm gonna try to look it more into it when I get off later. But I just thought maybe you had, maybe if you had any suggestions or anything.
If you're on the $1 tier,
no, I'm on the $5. I'm on the $5.
Well, it should show. I haven't posted today. It should show yesterday's notes is the most thing. I haven't posted today's notes yet. I'm gonna do it after this stream.
Oh, okay.
But it should show yesterday's notes as the top post. That's what you should see on the $5 tier.
Okay. Well, I'll look at it again when I get back and stuff. So, other than that, obviously we're gonna be betting and stuff for sure this year. Other than that, good morning and hope you have a good day.
All right. Let me know if you need any more help if it's not working out. But appreciate it, Lloyd. Thanks for supporting.
All right.
Take care, man. All right. And what's up, Heir to the Throne? Thanks for your patience.
What's good, man? No problem. I just want to say, bro, I've been following you, Zach, since probably like 2020. And yeah, I appreciate your work. And it's like a lot of people, they be hard on you about, they say you don't pick a side. But I'm like, bro, who told you that you need, like, are you guys fucking children? You feel what I'm saying? Like somebody told me that in the comment, they're like, are you children? Do you need somebody to pick a side for you? I like how you do it in your style because you give both sides. You feel what I'm saying? And a lot of people, they'll give a narrative, and then it's like if you just see the numbers for one side, you be like, yeah, bro, I got it. Every time you be like, yeah, I got it. And then you will, a lot of people will bet more than they should with the woo. And it's like when you see it's a narrative for both sides to win, that's when you really find the truth. You know what I'm saying? You're like, oh, okay, they're rigging all this shit. You know what I'm saying? You see both sides of the story, and a lot of times those losses, when you lose, you like, damn, I don't understand. But when you go back and look at the code, your code, you see both sides, and now you get a better understanding. That's what all this shit about. It's not just about winning games. It's about seeing that everything around us is scripted. And that's why I focus on that. And that's all I came on to say, honestly.
I appreciate that. And again, I always say what I think is the top narrative. It might not always end up being the top narrative, but most days I got most of the top narratives right.
It's like, bro, with you, so much shit, you know what I'm saying? So you have a compound interest of knowledge with everything, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, it'll throw a lot of people off. And so sometimes it do be the simplest of riddles that hit sometimes.
Well, I appreciate you supporting the work and your feedback, and that you have the mind to understand it. Yeah, I think everybody should show both sides of the narrative, because there are a lot of people like that are only promoting one side because they think that's the best side, and then they miss, and then it was like, well, what happened? It's like, well, they didn't show you the other side that you had to think twice about, and that's why I try to show it. And it's just like some days I only have one side of the narrative because I don't see anything for the other team, and usually those are very good games, just like the Michigan State UCLA game yesterday.
Yeah, that's what I want to say, bro. I've been loving that you've been doing the college too, because like at first you weren't doing it, but the thing with you is like for some reason when you type it, it doesn't like it don't. You'll have the NCAA notes at the bottom, and I promise, bro, it was like 3-4 times to where I didn't even scroll all the way to the bottom because shit. I just mainly just look at the NBA and NHL sometime or whatever, and yeah, it be at the bottom, but like it don't be in the headline of the post or whatever.
So for people who are not on the streaming tier, a lot of what I'm doing now with college basketball is I'm just breaking it down in the stream, so it's getting updated after I post the notes. So just like I say at the top, if you're not on the streaming tier, refresh the notes. I've been doing that just to teach people in the stream how to decode sports so they can watch me do it. And then I tell them what I would do additionally, so they go out and do their own homework, kind of like you're in the classroom. I'm like, okay, here's what I like. But now if you really want to zero in, I'd go do the coaches too and try and turn over a few more stones.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, look for the college basketball updates after we do the live streams.
Okay. All right. Appreciate the Zach, man. That's all I had to say, bro. Have a good day.
Yeah, you too. Thank you. Thanks for coming on. All right, heir to the throne. What's up? Open up.
Hey, what's up? Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, what's up, man?
All right. So I like what heir to the throne was saying, the way that you put both narratives so that people can make their own choice. Another reason for that is so that people can learn how to use the information on their own. It's not just about what the sports cappers are doing. They just give you a line of picks. You don't know where their picks came from most of the time. You don't know how they came to that conclusion. So what are you really gaining from that? This is a better method for people, who actually want to increase their knowledge, because at the end of the day, this is more than just about sports. Like you mentioned, there's things happening in the government, in the news, and entertainment. They're all connected. So it's just a way to help people learn. And I just want to give a couple things that I won yesterday from your knowledge yesterday. Donovan Mitchell, he got his 26th career double-double. They played against the Celtics. Celtics is a big 26 team that was plus 1,000. So that's just one thing from yesterday. But this whole NBA season, NFL season has been just a bunch of winning. Recently in the NBA, I've been doing a lot of exact point props, which, there, of course, nothing here is 100%. You're never going to win 100% anywhere you go. But if you could hit things that are like plus 3,000, plus 5,000 here and there, you can make a good amount of money. And I've been able to do that just because of the knowledge that I've learned from you. If anyone is new here and you don't know about sports betting, or you're still new to the gematria knowledge, I'd recommend you read about betting first so that you know what you're getting into if you're going to be putting your money on stuff. Zach always recommends, play small, $1, $5 a week, or things like that, small parlays. Never bet the house. Nothing is guaranteed. Even though we have, the good narratives, things could always lose. So don't put more than you're willing to lose. What else was I going to say? Yeah, the first year when I learned this knowledge, I spent the first year without betting. I was just learning, taking notes, seeing where patterns come through. After that, I started putting like $1, $5 at most. And, if there's things that are really good that look really great with the narrative, I'll put a little bit more, but it's never going to be something that I'm scared to lose. So you just want to, have a little, take accountability for your losses, bet responsibly, of course. And you could definitely get ahead with the knowledge. Like Big Al, he's a veteran here, like Zach mentioned, and he has a savings account from the knowledge. So that's all I wanted to say. I don't want to take too much time. I see other people are joining, but I appreciate the work that you give, Zach, and I'm always appreciative of what I learned from you because I've been able to capitalize on the knowledge.
Indeed. And again, Open Up is the reason that you want to be in the community. People like him. He calls in. He has great contributions. He does great research on player props. And again, he's sharing his winning knowledge with the community almost daily as well. So thank you again, Open Up. I appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. Take care.
All right. We got Cam Newton, Joe Black, and then the Phillies ace 34 in the order they came in. Cam Newton, you're up.
What's good, Zach? Just real quick, I don't think you reported on it. Just wanted to put it out there. King Von's friend, O'Block Louis, passed away a couple days ago in February. He was the one who survived the headshot when King Von got killed that night. He had just passed away from apparent drug overdose, though, a couple days ago. Just thought.
Was this on the 34th day of the year?
Yeah, something like it. I know it was like 2 or 3 days ago.
Because we just talked about the night of the Grammys, how it's very likely there'll be dead rappers in the news after Kendrick Lamar takes top honors. Again, he's performing at the Super Bowl. It was the 67th Grammys, Kansas City 67. You know who's going for their 5th Super Bowl? He got 5 awards. But again, we talked about in the stream on Sunday night, and then the next day you got the woman rapper from Baltimore. Her ex is gunned down on the 34th day of the year. Rapper, murder, Maryland. They're all 34. It was the anniversary of the Ravens winning the Super Bowl on the 34th day of the year with 34 points. And it looks like maybe King Von's friend as well on the same day. And don't forget, Jonathan and I predicted King Von's death for that year at the start of the year in March and how it'd be synced with the Lakers rigged finals before they won the thing. His death was perfectly synced with LeBron and the finals win that year. So, yeah, I'll look more into that one. I appreciate the heads up.
Yep, no problem, man. Yep, I brought up the Filthy Rich connections and stuff too. So I really listen to Filthy Rich. I really like them. I like a lot of these rappers that passed away. Actually, Zach, like Draco the Ruler, et cetera, et cetera. Really built like a fond relationship with them just based off their music, and I make music as well. And it just really bothers me sometimes when these rappers die. And just looking at the Filthy Rich narrative, do you think that it is a narrative for something negative to happen to him, or do you think it might be a narrative for him to have something negative happen to like one of his family members?
Well, I mean, so often it is that way. So it's hard to say for sure. But
Right.
That's what we see happen all the time.
Right. Yeah, that's all I had, though, Zach. Yeah, appreciate everything, man. I'll be around.
All right, take care, man. All right, we got Joe Black and then the Phillies ace. What's up, Joe Black?
What's going on, Zach? Nice to meet you, man. So I'm one of the newer ones. I've been following you for about 6 years. Just joined the $11 tier this football season. I'm one of the ones who be in the chat and I drop a few stuff because I haven't decoded everything or learned how to do everything, but I know what I'm looking at and stuff. So like I'm watching games and stuff and I see all the numbers 59. So I thank you. I love this community because you guys like break down everything. Like I'm one of the guys who's like used to be a sports fan, still a sports fan, jump up and down, stuff like that. But the fact that this community breaks down and relates to what I look at and say, this ain't right. Some of this stuff, these numbers ain't right. Like I've been around since that Nipsey stuff. The Nipsey numbers wasn't right. The Kobe Bryant numbers wasn't right. So just wanted to let you know that I love what you guys do. I appreciate what you guys do as I get to unraveling and breaking down this stuff with my own knowledge as well, with the help of you guys. Just want to keep on going because I'm on the $11 tier and I just only bet like $1 here and there. So you guys definitely have helped me win some money and stuff like that. But I'm not here to bet. I'm here because I love the knowledge. I want to know what the hell is going on around me and everybody else. So again, Zach, what you do is fucking great. You keep it up and shout out to everybody in the community.
Thank you. Yeah, you're here for the right reasons. I appreciate that. Thank you, Joe Black.
All right.
You have a good day. All right, we got the Phillies ace to close us out.
Hey,
what's up?
Hey, Zach. I'm the one from 267.
I assumed you were before you even spoke. I said this is him right here. I know it. What's up?
Yeah. So I just want to say, man, like I always preach, like you're great at what you do. That's why I appreciate what you do for us. Because like without you, I would never be able to see what's going on with the world. Because I knew like once Trump was running again, I knew he was going to be a president again. Because you could see things. I'm not good at decoding like you are. I'm trying to use the Gematriator and all that stuff, and try to use things and be observant of a lot of things. Like I have a question though, when like certain things like the Sixers, which one do you put in? Because sometimes the numbers can be different. Like if you put 76ers in, or like St. Louis Blues, because you can write it two different ways. How do you use both, or would you? You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, you're in the thing. Click on the cheat sheet at the beginning, and that's why I look at the gematria for the city, the nickname alone, and the full name. And I always think it's best when a record can line up with the full name, just like how UCLA looked like a lock yesterday to become do the 8-4 thing. Michigan State Spartans 84. That's I love when the full name lines up. But the city can just matter alone. Again, Michigan State got their 4th loss. LA equals 4. But the full name is definitely what I prefer when that aligns.
Right. And that's I learned. I try to do everything to to make a good narrative, and that's why I always said. That's why we always say that there's always two sides to a story. We may not always get it right, but at least you put it out there so we see where it's coming from any direction. Like everything's tribute to Kobe right now. That just because everything is shown that because he won a three-peat doesn't necessarily mean they're going to allow him. Because you know how they you always talk about how they shame fans and stuff like that. And sometimes when tragedy happens, like when Katrina happened, guess who won the Super Bowl? Saints won the Super Bowl. When Harvey won,
and did it over Archie Manning's son as he's lofting intentional interceptions into the secondary, and it's just like, what's wrong with everybody? How don't they see this?
Right. And the last Super Bowl 15 in 1980, Eagles lost in the Super Bowl to the Oakland Raiders, and Jaworski threw 3 interceptions, and guess who caught it? Number 53. 53. Yeah. If you watch it. So, all I was saying is that your narrative doesn't always, because I've seen sometimes when you see a great narrative, they pull the rug out from you. I understand that they do this stuff in advance, or some of these things they do in advance. But
I think sometimes there's too much money in the public riding on one side of a game. I'd bet anything that's what happened last night with the Dallas Ducks game, and that's why we hedge our bets too. We knew the Ducks had a lot of value, and they did have a little narrative to win, but that's the kind of narrative that usually comes in. So I always think, okay, I bet there was just way too much public money on one side of that.
I guess you were right on the Sixers last night. What'd you say?
Yeah. So, and again, you guys, again, I've been here since Super Bowl 48. Only one Super Bowl I have gotten wrong, but it wasn't horrible. We dominated that season. It was the year that the Eagles beat the Patriots. I was more on the Patriots winning that, but I had a great hedge bet that was worth way more. So in a way, it was good I was wrong. I said if the Eagles win this game, Zach Ertz, number 86, will score the winning touchdown 86 days after his birthday, because this whole season about the flag and the national anthem, and the national anthem was adopted 86 years before this season. Zach Ertz did score the winning touchdown. Depending on what book you had, that paid between 20 and 30 to 1. And again, that's why, you cover the spaces on the roulette wheel that make a lot of sense for things that can happen in the game. We had Hurts to score 3 touchdowns in the conference championship. Huge payout. Again, you cover the roulette wheels for the narratives that make sense. You know the narrative, you know the numbers. Like Jordan 3-peated over a Barkley. They've been syncing this season up with Charles Barkley, who also played in Philly, as they get Saquon Barkley. Again, these things aren't an accident. Again, a lot of these guys were born and bred to be for these planned rituals. Again, you cover the right spaces on the roulette wheel. And see, the thing is, even though I don't think the Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl, I'm going to tell my people to hedge with the Eagles because they got 3 reasons that they can win in the numbers. I think the Chiefs are 3-peating. That's what we've been on since way before the season began. We've been on the Chiefs to 3-peat the whole time. 3-peat equals 145. The Super Bowl's 145 days after Mahomes' birthday. Ron Torbert, the ref, equals 145. That Bundle Rooski ad they came up with, the way they spell Bundle Rooski, just look it up on the State Farm website, equals 145. Doug Williams equals 145. 162 days after Doug Williams' birthday, the Chiefs became 16-2 for the year, and the Commanders, this old team, became 14-5. That's been a big theme this year, the 145 thing. But again, wise men hedge their bets because most of my people are in the driver's seat because they've had their Chiefs future in all year. You can put a little down on the Eagles just in case, so you can at least win your future money back in case the Chiefs don't finish off the 3-peat narrative. By the way, beware of all the people that come in my chat every year when the Super Bowl comes around and are posting the exact opposite of what I'm saying. Last year, if you were in my live streams before the Super Bowl, everyone was posting the 49ers were going to win. These are the agents and the Decepticons. It's just like everybody in my chat today is Eagles are going to win. The better narratives with the Eagles. You got to be brain dead, honestly, if you think the better narratives with the Eagles. Again, it's been 3-peat the whole time. He has the same birthday. The same birthday as Phil Jackson. The guy who coined the term 3-peat, his name equals 59 in Gematria. Like I said, 59 weeks from Mahomes born to Kobe playing in his first NBA game. This is how scripted these things are out in advance. If they want to keep it so that no team's 3-peated, that's where the Eagles narrative is with a few numbers, but that's not the way it's looking. Remember last year, Mahomes' father got the 3rd DWI right before the Super Bowl. Now this year, Jordan, another 3-peat guy, his son's got a DWI right before the Super Bowl. By the way, the Chiefs are 4-2 in Super Bowls. Didn't Kobe go 5-2 in the finals? Again, he was the major sacrifice for all of this up to this moment. But yeah, beware of all the trolls in my chat that are always trying to put out the opposite information. Those are probably the bookies and casino agents.
that's another thing I would say is too. Like, since you put out this knowledge, you have all these people. You don't know if the people that come in your stream or from the people that
Exactly. Yeah, I don't trust a lot of them. You know, there's
Yeah.
one guy that just lives in the chat every day trying to fade what I say. He's got compliments for other people in the chat, never says anything nice about anything I do. It's just like, why are you even here every day? Never says one nice word about any of the picks. Somebody will have some like even money thing and be like, that was a great call yesterday. It's like, dude, how many upsets did I have yesterday? You can't write something. So, no, I got all kinds of snakes that hang around. We need a lawnmower.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying. And then sometimes when you do that, because you've been put out to work, you see how they mock us. So they might, and that's why sometimes you be like, why, when you're so well got the information that the narratives of that we have you have laid out for us, and sometimes these son of a bitches can pull the rugs out from under us, man. Because I've seen it many times when you'll see a game that you be like, or see a situation like, but that's how they do it.
We know what you're saying, Phillies Ace. Listen, I'm going overtime. I got to wrap this up in the next 10 minutes. We got 4 more gentlemen who want to get in here in the order they came in. We got Rich, Coney, Half Wanton, and Eugene's going to close us out. I can't take any more people after that because I do need to get off. But thank you very much for being part of the community and calling in Mr. Philadelphia. And I know you want to see those Eagles win. They do have a chance. We know the few numbers they have, but
Right.
Temper your expectations.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right. What's up, Rich?
What's up, Zach?
How you doing, man?
Pretty good. How are you?
By the way, thanks for the tip on the female rapper who lost her ex yesterday.
Yep. And hey, you guys predicted that, man. Literally 2 days before that happened. You know what I'm saying? You guys said watch out for the 34th day of the year and the 38th day of the year. And so far the 34th day of the year came true, right? You know what I'm saying? You had the ex.
You know it's going to be trouble for some people on the 38th day of the year. If it's not a rapper, it's going to be somebody.
That's funny you mentioned Trouble. Remember Trouble died in a huge ritual. He died at age 34. You remember that? The rapper Trouble from Atlanta?
I honestly don't. The rapper Trouble. I'm going to write it down right now. I got to go back and look at that one.
Yeah.
What else is on your mind?
Man, I just want to point out, I don't know if you saw Lil Wayne. He said he's not going to be at the Super Bowl 59 this year. He's 42 years old. Nola, 42.
Yeah, he's probably mad that he didn't get chosen. By the way, his song Three-Peat is 3 minutes and 19 seconds long. What's Andy Reid's birthday? Is it 3/19, March 19th? We've been on that all year.
Masonic equals 319. Got there. Masonic equals 319. Remember, Prince died 319 days after his birthday. But nah, man, I just figured. Did you see just to go off topic real quick? Did you see the shooting in Ohio? There was a mass shooting in Ohio, New Albany, Ohio.
I saw the address was 8822 on a quick scan this morning, like Trump always has up there on his little billboard, 8822.
Trump equals 88, MAGA 22. Yep.
Right.
But no, I just seen that the guy's name equals mass shooting in 3 out of the 4 ciphers. His name's Bruce Foster.
I still got to decode that one, but yeah, you're already on it. Boom.
Yep. And supposedly they said the shooting happened last night on 51 date numerology, and his name equals 51. So, and just to address people real quick, like I was getting in a fight with people on Facebook this morning because I seen somebody post about Kendrick Lamar. What are the odds that this guy announces the death of his aunt at the Grammys? And
Kendrick Lamar, 57, Missouri, 57 years old, three-peated.
Yeah, a rematch, Super Bowl 57. You know what's funny about rematch? Gematria, a rematch equals 40. It's a rematch, Super Bowl 57 on the 40th day of the year. You know what I mean? So, I mean, that's not an accident. But for any retards out there saying that they're not sacrificing people for their careers and sacrificing family members for their careers, they very much are. The point I always bring up is when Megan Thee Stallion's mom died, you heard her all over the radio. She had all kinds of deals, sponsorships. You know what I'm saying? You hear her everywhere. The baby, his dad died. His album went #1. Never forget when that happened. His dad died. All of a sudden, next day, his album goes #1 platinum.
Yep.
Joke, man. I mean, they
that Pooh Shiesty too, the worst rap name I ever heard. But his brother's dead in the headlines, and then all of a sudden he's on Sirius XM.
His music's trash. Pooh Shiesty's trash. His music's trash. And you see him.
I agree.
With Lil Durk, another guy who's probably sold out. A lot of his people of his family sold out his cousin, sold out his brother, sold out his friend.
And by the way, just about sacrifices, it's not even always the celebrities. Somebody in the chat saying, do I remember the shooting at the Kansas City Parade last year? Yeah, we just talked about it a million times since. Again, it happened on 2/14. That's the Dallas area code.
We decoded
And
that.
the Chiefs started in Dallas. That's why they did that. JFK died at Parkland Hospital in Dallas. That's why they shot up Parkland High School on 2/14, which was connected to Super Bowl 52 in Minnesota. That school was named after a woman from Minnesota. The thing they just did with the plane on Roosevelt in Philadelphia, we just covered that. The thing they just did with the chopper in the plane in D.C. Again, all these things are connected. That plane was flying from Wichita. Wichita is where Learjet's headquartered. Again, go back and see the videos we just put out. All these, this is what they do. We say when championships come to town, so do tragedies. Year after year. I don't know how people don't catch on.
That Black Hawk helicopter, I mean, I've heard like those Black Hawk helicopters, nobody really has to be flying those things. It can be flown from miles away.
So can a lot of aircraft in this day and age. The remote control, absolutely.
Who's to say they're not, flying some kind of RC helicopter and trying to make an explosion? You get what I mean? So
absolutely.
People gotta ask these questions, man. People don't ask questions like that. When I got into an argument with people on Facebook, they're arguing with me about it and saying that I'm dumb and I'm an idiot. No, I'm not an idiot. You're the idiot because you don't get what they're doing to you and mocking you in your face and putting all these the numbers in your face. It's undeniable, man.
Eric, one of the worst, most obvious ritual sacrifices in sports history, a guy who still can't shoot, Ben Simmons, goes number 1 overall, can't shoot a basketball.
Cousin.
He brought his cousin to the draft with him. What happened to his cousin that night? They said he got ran over.
Ran over.
I mean, come on.
Yep. And what's funny about Ben Simmons, you bring up Ben Simmons, man, in college, that dude can shoot, but as soon as he got to the Sixers, he could not shoot a basket. He couldn't shoot a free throw. I mean, come on, man.
I forget the dude who got drafted by the UW Huskies, too, who forgot how to shoot once he got to the NBA and had a short career. I can't even think of his name right now. So, anyway, appreciate it, Rich. Keep up the good work, man. Thank you.
Hey, appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me on.
All right, we got Coney and then Half Wonton. Coney.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just had something small I wanted to share in relation to the Super Bowl. One moment as I find it. And it's thanks for having me on. Where is it here? So if the Kansas City Chiefs three-peat, the NFL made a deal with Pat Riley to use the term three-peat on merch if the Chiefs win the Super Bowl.
Huh. Funny. Funny.
Yeah. And I just want to honestly thank you for all the work you do. If it wasn't for you, I would have never found about my friend. It blows my mind how universal this knowledge is, from sports and news, just everything. And growing up, I was the biggest LeBron fan, and now I almost despise him to a certain extent, just knowing all of the bodies connected to LeBron. And just this decode itself, I believe LeBron, when he scored 40,000 points, he did it on the exact same day Will Chamberlain scored 100 points in a single game. The odds of doing that in the same day is like less than 1%. And he did it in the year 1962. And 62 years later, on the exact same day, LeBron scores 40,000 points against the Denver Nuggets, which equals 62. The only team that has a 62 gematria on the 62nd day of the year.
Yeah, it's like when he broke the scoring record with 38 points on the 38th day of the year, 38 years after the record was set, and yada, yada, yada for the rest of that. So,
yeah. So honestly, I just want to thank you. If for the people that complain about $5 and it's none of my business. I just thank you for everything you do and keep up the great work, Zach.
Indeed. All right, appreciate it, Coney. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
All right, we got Half Wonton to close us out. Oh, hold on. Half Wonton, you're muted. Let me unmute that. All right, you're good now. Go ahead. Half Wonton, you there? I'll give him a second here in case he's having a little audio issue. He might have stepped away. Okay. If we don't have Half Wonton, if anybody else wants to hop on and give us a closing word, I do got to wrap this up in about 3 minutes, but I do need to wrap it up in 3 minutes. So I dropped the link one more time. I would like to have somebody else give us the closing word. You already know what I'm going to say. I was hoping it was going to be Half Wonton, but something's definitely going on with the audio over there. For the guy in the chat saying, hurry up and finish the notes. Hey, we got plenty of time until game time. I'll get the notes done. We'll stream like regular at noon. But yeah, trying to get more people into the knowledge. More people into the knowledge. More people know what's up. The more soon the world's going to change. And again, that there are other things more important than sports. What we're doing in Gaza right now, everyone should be disgusted by. And remember who called the almost the start of the war to the day Netanyahu came back into power. If you don't know who that is, you're looking at the person. Again, you learn this code. You see how it's all rigged. But on the 35th day of the year, Trump's talking about how we're going to turn Gaza into this real estate paradise, Mr. Towers. You don't see the joke, putting this puppet stooge in there by the numbers. So that the 35th day of the year, you can come in and say this about Gaza. It's like, we don't care about the 2 million people that live there. We're going to make it beautiful waterfront property. He says in the same speech, he says, we'll do it by force, and it's going to be, what word did he use? Glorious? Oh, yeah, go in there with the soldiers and just knock people off their land. Hey, it's like the recreation of this country, just wiping out the genocide, the natives' manifest destiny. And don't forget the whole thing with the jokes about the natives and what they do at the Super Bowls. Only 3 quarterbacks that were black ever won the Super Bowl. They all played for the native teams, the Redskins, the Seahawks, and the Chiefs. Every game had a 42 ritual. Do you think they're trying to tell you something about people who might have already been here, who might have been considered natives of the land when the European settlers showed up? You guys, it's all biblical too. Zephaniah 2:4. Trump did this on February 4th. For Gaza shall be forsaken. Right from the Bible, Zephaniah equals Trump. That Zephaniah is a book of judgment. Trump put in all those judges his first term. Look how Trump and judge overlap. Also, Jeremiah 47, the word of the Lord that came to Jeremiah, the prophet, against the Philistines before the Pharaoh smote Gaza. Gaza's been smoted. It's all in rubble. These people use the Bible like a playbook, like their football coaches. The trade war starts with China on the 35th day of the year. I'll do another video on this later, but again, just the power of the knowledge. It's not just about rigged sports games. Can I just give out a winner for today's game? Yeah, we're going to be doing it on Patreon here in no time, man. Come join us. If you got money to bet on a sports game, surely you have money to join the Patreon. Just get on the $5 tier. It should be easy to pick out a winner. But by the way, like I said at the beginning of the stream, Wednesday is my least favorite day of the week for sports gambling. Wednesday is named after Mercury, the trickster. The games can be very tricky on Wednesdays, but still usually there's a strong narrative or two. It's a good day for a straight bet. So Wednesday, least favorite day of the week, FYI. But yeah, if you're asking for sports picks to gamble on, I mean, what, you don't got $5 to sign up for a month's worth of picks? Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. Just gave you a whole bunch of gems in here. I gave you more education in this video than you could have got for a $10,000 education at a state school. And that's not cap either. You could have learned more in this stream, more value, more ways to make money than you could have spending $10,000 at the state school. Most will get certificates for things they'll never use, never do anything in their life with. So, all right, we didn't have anybody else hop on. We don't got half wonton, so we're going to leave it there for now. Congrats to the winners. Join us on Patreon. Yes, I will be streaming the Super Bowl like always on the Patreon. And, you know, the last 2 years, I gave you pretty much the Super Bowl winner at the end of that stream. And I did end up making it public after the game was over. So you could have gotten again, at the end of Super Bowl 57, I said, look for the Chiefs to become 4-2 in Super Bowls on the 42nd day of the year in Super Bowl 58. Exactly what they did. End of last year's stream, we said, well, Kobe 3-peat. Kobe was the big sacrifice for all this. Nobody's 3-peated in the Super Bowl era. And now it's the Chiefs versus Kobe's hometown. Remember, it's the Chiefs' 65th season. Andy Reid Philadelphia equals 65. The city established on the day leaving 65 days left in the year, October 27th. And the conference championships were 313 days after Andy Reid's birthday, the 65th prime. So, what do you know? What do you know? All right, guys. Again, link for the Patreons in the description of every video. If you just search Patreon on Google, Zachary K. Hubbard, it's going to pull up my page. But yeah, there's 3 sports tiers. There's the $5 tier. It gets you all the written content every single day. Every single day means every single day. 365 days a year, 366 days in a leap year. $11 tier gets you all the written content plus live streams Monday through Saturday, 6 days a week. $20 tier gets you everything plus the Sunday live stream where there's a chance to make money. We have 6 winners every week. I pay out $250 in cash prizes if we get more people on that tier. It has gone down now that football season ended, but if we can get it back up and get more, we could end up giving out more cash prizes on that tier. But $250 a week, $1,000 a month. Some months it ends up being $1,250. Anyhow, those are the links. I recommend the $11 tier for new people. If you're intelligent and you have good reading comprehension and logic, you can probably do just fine on the $5 tier. But if you want those streams and to hear the other members of the community and more verbal advice, the $11 tier is easily the best value and where I think you should go if you're a beginner. And I mean, if you're spending $11 a month, you're spending $132 a year. A lot of people make a lot more than $132 a week off the knowledge. And again, it's knowledge, it's education. So where can you go and get an education for $132 a year? The answer is nowhere. So, oh, well, other than my Patreon. All right, we'll leave it there for now. And until next time, have a good day, everyone.